The pet food industry is telling us what to feed our pets, really more based on what they want to sell us than what's necessarily good for the pet.
She is Oprah Winfrey's veterinarian and now an author, and her new book is called The Royal Treatment. Please welcome Dr. Barbara Royal. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. So let me ask you this. What are the things that we're giving them that we shouldn't? And then what should we be giving them that we aren't?
So one of the things that interests me that I'm always wondering is, now that we've premiered the film and you've seen it in front of an audience, what does it feel like for you? Is it random? Is it something you haven't thought about for a while and you're like, oh, that thing's come back into my life?
As far as like what I saw, it was really lovely to see it all sort of coalesced into one film, and it felt really satisfying to hear all the information and have it, it's just in such a nice clear form. So that was really terrific. I think about it every day because this is what I do every day. So for me, the information is something that I'm constantly dealing with. The film was sort of like, yeah, we did it a long time ago, we talked about it a lot, and now it's sort of like, oh yeah, we did that really cool documentary. And so having it out and knowing that this can be a tool that we can use now to change the way things are done is amazing to me. It feels suddenly like I've gotten this superpower, and I feel terrific about it.
I think raw food is weird to a lot of people. When I first mention it to people, they sort of say, raw food? Do I have to feed raw food to make my dog healthy? Like, are you crazy? I'm like, well, no, you don't have to. It'll make a difference. It'll make a huge difference.
It was really interesting just to have different people come up to me after the showing and having like, the MD, the doctor, who came up and said, you know what, this is just how it is for human medicine, and I've never thought about that, and how, everything we learned in medical school has so much to do with, sort of the diseases and the medicines and the pharmaceuticals, but never anything about the causes of health. And we need to study the causes of health and help ourselves with that, and that's what food is. And that's the same thing we're looking at, is what actually makes animals healthy, what makes all of this run. It's really food.
The answer is as simple as food.
It's as simple as food.
Now, because of the way that the world is, corn and wheat have become so subsidized and so cheap. It's a super cheap way to make a food for somebody who can't say no.
You have a right as a consumer to know what's actually in what you're purchasing.
Well, I think that's the power of this. We have the right to question. So what I try to tell my clients is ask questions. Even if you can't afford the perfect food, you're buying food from the X company X. Call them up. Say, hi, company X. Do you source well? Where do you get this from? Just start asking questions. The more people call up and ask questions about the type of meat that's going into it, why do they add these fillers, all of those things, then the companies will start to listen, because you're the reason they're in business if you're the consumer.
So no corn, no wheat, no soy.
After many years of R&D, we have found that corn is still the best available source of carbohydrates when processed and refined properly.
Those are the things that cause overweight, diabetes, arthritis, chronic skin infections, allergies, things like that. That's the precursor for a lot of that. If you're feeding poor nutrition and they're eating a lot of those things that mess with the body, they just don't stay healthy.
But let me ask you this, doctor. Are those the things that you find in dog food, or you're talking to people who are giving table food to them?
No, it's in dog food.
I think this movie is going to make a huge difference for animals and for health. I really do. And it's actually a fun movie to watch. I thought it was great. Nicely done.